Everybody could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving on to item C, the approval of the agenda for the special school board meeting of November 12th, 2025. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
Move to approve. A second.
Okay, any discussion on the agenda before we start? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you. Item number 2, non-action. A is the acknowledgement of notice regarding IC 20-28-9-28. Please, Dr. Razor, I'll let you take that.
Yeah, each year school corporations should be spending at least 62% of their state tuition support, which is the education fund, on teacher compensation. And according to the Department of Education last year, North Newton School Corporation spent 60%, actually 60.05% on teacher compensation. We are digging into this to make sure that things are coded correctly and things like that, but we're also not disputing the fact. I would say in a budget our size, it's pretty much a rounding error to around that amount. So, you know, if I were you guys, I'd be concerned if it was 45%, and us, I'd be concerned if it was 85%. But where we're at, but we are looking at that, and we do think this year we're going to far exceed that amount.
Anybody want to add anything?
Yes. I, just from the finance side for the teachers and for what Mike and I have talked about, some of this is the rounding error. Like we think it's some financial issues. We've discovered in the last day or two that we haven't even closed out 2024 correctly, which we were all under the impression that that was done correctly. It was not. Also on this 60.05%, if you take in consideration the numbers that we discussed during our collective bargaining, some of the things that we were supposed to pay in this were paid in 2025. So I think that that's some of the rounding errors. As Mike had stated, we are looking into figuring out where that shortcoming comes from, because obviously you get a nice letter like this from the state. We want to take that seriously, make sure that we've done all of our due diligence to ensure that that's correct. So one thing I did have a question. I sent an email to Mike earlier and Patty, which she's not here, but I saw that the state had changed. Maybe you guys can clarify that this year's requirement is 65%. Is that correct?
I do recall it going up.
Yes, because Tyson and I got an email from our favorite person at the beginning of May saying there was a change in that the requirements for the education fund for payments towards the teachers was 65% instead of the 62%. So we'll make sure that we've met that. But also in her email, which is a question that I would have for Patty and them, is they said something about the way that we code things in the system dictates how that percentage gets modified. So I don't fully understand that at this point, but being full transparent as we try to be in this board, we wanted to make you guys aware of that. We are definitely looking into it. And if any of you want a copy of this, we have plenty. So, and I think by statute, we're required to put this posted on our website within 30 days of our meeting.
Yep.
So now that we've had this meeting, we're acknowledging it, saying that we have been notified and we're looking into it, and then we will post this for the public. So thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Moving on to item 3A, action items, NNSC, NNEA collective bargaining agreement for 2025 to 2027. Do I have a motion and a second to approve the collective bargaining agreement for 2025 to 2027?
I will move to approve.
And I will second. We don't have any public comment?
We did that last meeting.
We did that last meeting. I think we cut public comment afterward.
Afterwards or before we vote?
It's supposed to be before you vote.
Yeah, before. Yeah.
We don't have any.
But you can open it up now.
If anybody has anything they'd like to come up and say, now would be your time if you'd like to. If not, we'll open the floor up to our amazing teachers union over here.
I feel obligated to say something.
Okay.
I'm a lot of words.
Thank you. All right, we'll take that.
Ron Young, I serve as the bargaining chair, so yes, I would like to say thank you for working with us and being very transparent. We really appreciate that. And I can say in all my years that I've bargained, never had a year like this. So I appreciate all the hard work and cooperation. Thank you.
Do you want to hit on the
Yeah, just-
main points?
And just to record them for posterity. So the main points of this collective bargaining agreement, first of all, it is a 2-year agreement, which is it's not one of the main points, but is a big deal for us. It's a $4,100 increase for the 25-26 school year, a $2,000 increase for the 26-27 school year. Health insurance increases are covered for the 25-26 school year. The early literacy certification has been added to the columns on the grid. Licensure examinations are to be considered a professional day. The vesting for the retirement savings account has been lowered from 8 to 5 years, and teachers selected to be mentors will receive a $1,000 stipend. Those are the high points of the agreement.
Perfect. Mr. Mark?
Yeah, as a collective bargaining member, and I want to appreciate everybody that was on that, myself, Tyson, and Mr. Razor, and then also the union representatives. I want to say, for me personally, is this my full first calendar year on the board and jumping straight into collective bargaining last year as a representative of the school board. I hope that you all understand we heard you last year. We heard the public last year. We listened. For me personally, and I know the board members that were up here at the time, we all said that if we had found money, we're going to make sure that you guys got a fair share of that. So we went with our team, the finance, and our new financial software, which I personally believe if we didn't have that, we'd still be in the dark ages when it comes to figuring out our numbers. And the second part of that is I want to be completely transparent to the public since this is recorded. When we gave you the information during the collective bargaining, when I gave this to our team in the executive session, our cash flows, for what we had actual coming in and what was going out, what I showed of our estimates is we're going to be 195,000 in the negative. But because we figured out numbers that were overspent, like I just discussed previously, from the other stuff that should have been paid in 2024, is where we actually estimate coming up with 448,000. That's why we were able to negotiate and get the $370,000 deal with the 800 grid, 2 moves, and then the 2 for next year, which allows us to be able to compensate you guys, which, as you stated, something you've had. This is a big jump for you in a long time. So I'm very proud of this board. I'm very proud of you guys working with us. I'm very happy the transparency that we've, both ways, have been honest and direct about stuff, and that we were able to take a chance and, we bet on our teachers. So that's what we did. So thank you all for that.
I'd also like to thank Dr. Razor, Mrs. Hickle, Mr. Mark, and the bargaining team. I felt like every meeting that we had was respectful. We worked well together. It was a different feel from last year. And we do appreciate everything that you do. And I'm very proud of our team that we were able to come together and get this done. And I hope to continue to do that in the very near future. So yeah, thanks everybody for your input and everything that we needed to do. We got done, and we got it done in a timely fashion, and very good. I'm very excited. If anybody else has anything they want to add, or?
Oh, I just wanted to say thank you to Dr. Mike and Missy and Patty, Senator Dalton, and the collective bargaining team, Samantha, Michael, and Tyson, for working on this, from our perspective here on this side of the table, because unfortunately it looks a little different on our side than it does your side. So we are very excited that we were able to get to this. And so I think on the high points, though, I want to clarify a couple things. The health insurance is 22%, which is huge, right?
Yeah.
So that's covering that. And then the increase, because it's collective, is for all teachers, for the first school year and the second year.
Yes.
And then just making sure that after we vote tonight and it's official, that something goes out to all the staff so they know, even if they are not in the union, that everybody's on the same page and knows 100% transparency what came about tonight. If they're not watching, then they could get an email from you, perhaps.
And to follow up with what Diane's saying, also the 22% increase was covered for all of our non-certs and everybody
Yes.
else. So the full increase of insurance, which was astronomical, the school board for the 2026 school year, we are covering that, which, I mean, is going to be another couple $100,000 that we're, again, I think, investing back into our school. So I'm very happy that we're able to do that.
Yep, very exciting.
Okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, all those not voting.
So,
Yeah, so,
yeah.
so, and I know, and I let everyone in collective bargaining and Dr. Mike know that even though I have a uniform conflict of interest on file because my husband is a teacher, I'm going to abstain. I know that it pertains to all the teachers, not just one, but I let you guys all know, I love the agreement that you guys all came up with, work together, but I'm going to abstain.
Thanks,
Diane.
Thank you, Diane. I have one more thing on the collective bargaining before we move on, if you're ready. During our collective bargaining negotiation with the teachers union, part of our agreement during that conversation was the ability for us to give our superintendent the authority, because there was 22 school teachers out of the 60-something total, that you all had questions or issues about moving them further up the grid. So we had done our research since then. At the time, our superintendent does not have that authority, but I'm going to make a motion, whether the board passes it or not, that'll give him the authority for the remainder of this school year. Part of that is so that he can, what we agreed upon during that conversation and what we've talked about with our school board in our executive sessions and other things, that will allow him to individually meet with those 22 teachers that had questions about their placements on the grid, and also because your education movements that were in question, whether you were BS 15 or if you got a master's and things like that, that we've all talked about fixing over the years. So with that being said, I will make a motion that allows our superintendent for the remainder of this school year to work with our whatever administrator he needs. To me, it's if a teacher comes from a high school, he should work with that administrator from that high school, and himself interview with the teacher that has a question one-on-one to allow them to, one, move their educational laterally in the grid currently. If they can prove that they have their education, then they should be moved in the grid laterally. And then two, the second part of that is if they felt like their placement on the grid was off from their original start, that we give him the authority for 2 movements for this year so that he can work with those people and move them before the end of this school year. As Tyson and I have discussed, and I've discussed with other board members that have called me back or I've talked to, this helps us financially this year, and maybe we can do this again next year and the year after until we hopefully get everybody that has grievances or questions about their placement on the grids. It allows us to allow our superintendent and our financial team to be able to get us information to make sure that, one, we can afford it, 2, that it's being done right. As I stated in our collective bargaining discussions, we don't know why somebody was placed on the grid 10 years ago. We don't know if during that 10-year period, somebody may have had not favorable, whatever that's called, and you don't move on the pay, so that may have held somebody back, but that's what he's going to do, the due diligence and the questions that he'll have with your teachers, and then he will be able to make those decisions on our behalf so that he can move these people for this year, to the school year, 2 positions. So the lateral move, which is education, and then the second one would be if you need to move down on the grid or up, whatever you call it, he would have the authority from us to be able to do that. That's my motion.
So correct me if I'm wrong, in this bargaining thing, did it not originally say that they had 30 days to show you that they had their education? So you're going from 30 days to the end of the school year. I just want to make sure.
Correct, end of the school year.
It's changed in here? Because I thought originally it was 30 days.
In here it said people have 30 days if they change to let us know. This is if 4 years ago somebody got their master's degree and they've not been moved.
Okay.
Yeah. Because what we did here is some people got tired of trying.
Correct.
They came back several times. So, yeah.
This gives him the authority for the remainder of this school year to meet with those individuals with a administrator helping him with that, dig into whether they are entitled to the 2-position move. And if he decides to do that, then
And we hadn't talked about this prior, but administratively, I kind of like till the end of the school year because if 22 people come to me at once within 30 days, that could be a little bit taxing to dig in.
plus it gives you time and them time to research the information to find out if there's any history why you didn't get placed or moved. So
I thought the 30 days was just for them to send you the verification. Not
Yes,
necessarily
not for the
have
yeah,
it all.
not for
done.
dissemination. Yeah,
Yeah, but just send you so you can start filing and organizing.
yeah, gotcha.
Okay, so I have a motion to authorize Dr. Mike Razor, our superintendent, to move educators for their education
laterally,
and laterally, and additionally, possibly 2 moves for
Up to 2 moves
Up to-
vertically.
for what?
Vertically.
Yeah, to be placed on the grid closer to where they should be or where they think they should be.
Correct.
Is there going to be discussion after you have like this investigation as far as, hey, these 22 people came and this is where they should have been
Yes.
and how much it's going to cost us out?
Yeah,
So
'cause
we're not
we'll be-
blindsided by
yeah.
as far as, hey, this is going to cost an extra
No.
$200,000.
Yeah,
Just,
definitely.
just full transparency on that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, any compensation change in this, especially given the fact it's being, a motion and a power granted,
Okay.
I'd come back and discuss.
It's like, hey,
And
this is-
Sam, on top of that, I forgot because Tiffany had asked me about the education moves, and I did look into that, and I think I talked to Mike about it. There were only 4 that I could find that were going to be laterally moved on the education from either a master's or something. Maybe it was 5, I think, total, but it wasn't 22. The 22, I think, is placement on the grid. Majority of them were, some of the teachers were feeling that they started off in position, whatever, 3, 4, 5. We discussed during the collective bargaining that the lateral stuff is not based solely upon time of service after the statute changed in 2011, I think it was. And then we understand now that's like 4 or 5 different things that you have, and I think it's in part of our collective bargaining, and we're going to, as a school board, hopefully get better, what do you call that, Mike? Reviews that show that percentages of whatever is being, taken into consideration for when people do get moved. So I did not get that back to Tiffany, but sorry. We're going to say that in front of everybody now that that's what I found. So
By Tiffany, do you mean school board Tiffany or Santowski Tiffany?
Tiffany.
Oh, okay. Sorry, we have 2 Tiffany's.
Yeah,
Important Tiffany's.
Sorry.
Just
I had not,
clarify.
I had
Hold
not
on,
talked to
which
her.
one?
Sorry.
That's usually the case.
Okay. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Can you please clarify
No,
that?
sorry. I don't have Tiffany's numbers, that one, but I called her and talked to her.
Okay, so do I have a second to Mr. Mark's motion?
I'll second.
Okay. And is there any more discussion or questions for that motion?
Just something that I, in full transparency, that I have asked for from the collective bargaining and Dr. Mike, so this is no surprises because you're the doctrine of no surprises, is that where everyone is now, where everyone goes to, and where everyone ends up for this school year, because moving forward, when these board members are not sitting there, or you are not, or you guys are not, or some of them are here, it is clear cut in central office. This is where they are, so there's no more, this is where I'm supposed to be, it's been fixed and it's resolved, and I think we talked about like an annual review of that, so that annually it is put in the system, so that there are no questions, nobody's going through paper files from here on out.
And correct me, see, I told you you'd get called on the spot. We've discovered in our frontline HR software, there's a place to credentials and placement. So we'll
Okay.
have that memorialized. And
assignments and,
Yeah.
yeah, we're assigning them next week. That's what we're.
Because I just think that's important. I've talked
Yeah.
to you, I talked, so that it is not personal, it is just when, moving forward, everybody's on the same page. There is no more this, and that. It's, we're on the same
Nobody
page.
coming in like us going, I don't know how you got
Yeah.
it that way.
Yeah, so.
And to go back what Diane was saying, 'cause she asked me and I have not gotten it to her for the board yet, but I will. I haven't got it is. And I'll send it to the teachers union on our grid that we put together. We're going to put where you all were prior to this and then where everybody is so that we and future people can see, because you get lost in the translation when you get new people up here and new people out there, that they forgot that there was 4 other spots on this grid that are now all of a sudden wiped out. And
Right.
we want to make sure that everybody understands fully that, hey, we moved 5 spots this year, 2 spots automatically next year. We're giving our superintendent the authority possibly to be able to move people laterally in their education, which I think is a no-brainer, and then move people vertically to hopefully work out some issues that we guys had in the past.
Potentially, right?
Potentially. Correct.
Okay. All right, all those in favor, raise your right hand. All those opposed, all those abstaining.
I'm just gonna abstain because I abstained from the other so that it's just uniform.
Thank you, Diane.
Yeah, if you can just, whenever you come up across those and
Yeah.
work that out. I think Tyson or Mr. DeYoung's first on your list to come see you.
What'd you say?
You're first on his list.
Nah.
Yeah, right.
Danielle's like, I want to be first. Watch out.
No kidding.
Pretty tired of meetings.
I'm pretty tired of meetings. Is that what you said?
I feel like we've been sitting in these seats.
I'm tired.
Hey, we did it a lot faster than what we did last year.
Yes, we did.
You gotta give us credit there. Okay, moving on to item 4, public comment. We have no public comment unless somebody else wants to come up. Other than that, do I have a motion and a second to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
I will second. All those in favor to adjourn tonight's meeting?